So what's up guys, we have another standard deck tech video again for today. We're going to feature a deck again from MTG Goldfish user submitted deck text for the Dominaria United standard, and this one is called Dragons by Alf Chabal. It's of the basic June colors, in which it's utilizing all the new cards based on the dragon decks in Dominaria United. So without further ado, we're going to check. Then they have 24 creatures, 4 enchantments, the saga, war, set of instants, and also accessories as spot removals with 24 lands for mana fix and basic utility. So we're going to check one by one. Of course, we're going to start with the ramp creatures. Let me sort it by mana cost. So here we have 4-2. These are the two sets of the 2 drops. We have Black Market Tycoon. So this is a Streets of New Capena card. It's basically producing a treasure, which can basically you can use it to ramp up to your dragons or to fix your mana. But its only drawback is that whenever you have a treasure during upkeep, Black Market Tycoon will deal 2 damage to you for each of those you control. So basically, you can just add this mana during your main phase and then use it right away to ramp up, and also go with proceed to casting your big spells on this. So aside from that, we also again having to feature Lanoir Realm Speaker. Nothing to really discuss about it except that it is that utilize to add mana many color, and also having a late game creating a board threat with having your lands become a 3/3 elemental. So 4 copies of this and Black Market Tycoon to make sure that you can basically curve up after your 4th turn. So we're going to check what our 4 drops, our possible 4 drops for this. We have a playset of Achusi the Blazing Sky. It is a 4/4/4/4 flying trample, but its only benefit aside from being a good attacker there is that whenever it dies, you may exile the top 2 cards of your library and you may play those cards until the end of your next turn. And also, having to create 3 treasure tokens is also another benefit of this, which you can just utilize for mana sink, mana fix, or anything else. So aside from that, we have the playset of Moonbill Regent, another dragon from Midnight Hunt. Whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each of the spell's colors. Then whenever it dies, it deals X damage to any target, wherein the X is the number of colors among permanents you control. So it depends on what board you would set up. It can have a bonus of it to deal extra damage, but at the same time it becomes also a 4/4 flyer, which is an efficient attacker in its setup. So aside from that, we have also the Elder Dragon War. This is the new card from Dominaria United, the Saga, with a read ahead setup. Either of the 3 can choose directly to create a 4/4 dragon creature token flying as your instant threat, or if needed, you can have the first Saga enter as you cast it and enters the battlefield. It deals the damage to each creature and its opponent if you need a wipe, a small board wipe. And then you may have this another Saga effect. I mean the lore counter effect, wherein you can discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards to fix your hand. So either the 3 can basically benefit according to which situation it is most needed, depending on the board setup. So we're going to go first with the 3 drop of the creatures, or in which the last for Dominaria United, in which we have Brivas of the Claw. It is a legendary creature via Shino Warlock, but it has benefits of having your ramp to your dragon creature spell. So it's a 3/3 menace. It becomes tap, or you tap it for 2 mana of combination of many colors to spend it only to cast your dragon creature spell. So it's also a benefit is that once during your turn you can cast a dragon creature spell from your graveyard. In case that your earlier threat was dealt with or was killed in combat, then you can just play it again from your graveyard. The only drawback though is that you cannot play it again repeatedly because of this ability, that it adds whenever you cast this dragon creature spell from your graveyard. It gains whenever this creature dies, exile it. So basically you can just use one animation to get back those dragon spells when you cast dragons from your graveyard. It's also a good mana sink. It has a good way to ramp up to your big creatures, and at the same time it becomes an efficient attacker in the case of it becomes a 3/3 menace, which is quite difficult to deal with in the early turns. So we go with the high cost, cutting out again to your types. So probably our biggest high drop there is the new card Wreath, the latest version of Wreath, and it's back in Dominaria United, which is becomes a Wreath Liberated Primeval. So it is a 5 to cast, 5/5 flying ward. So it becomes whenever it becomes target of a spell or ability, you can have your opponents pay 2 in addition to their spells mana cost, or unless those spells or abilities are countered. So aside from protecting itself, you can also protect other dragons you control by having them also ward 2. And at the beginning of your end step, if a creature or planeswalker an opponent control was dealt excess damage this turn, you can create a bonus of having to have a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. So excess damage can convert into another threat on your board, which is very hard board advantage already, because given that your Rift has already has ward 2, and also the dragon creature tokens created will also have this ward 2 ability. So to make sure that we are consistent and having this by 4th turn or 5th turn, we have 4 copies of this in the deck. So basically this is the spotlight card in this setup. And but I think that we can have that dragon, the June Dragon from Ziatora. I think Ziatora would also be a good inclusion here, since Ziatora has a way to deal damage, or also a good damage source in its setup. And also can add 3 treasure tokens, which can also benefit you for your excess mana, which you can need to cast your extra spells, or you would be able to cast those dragons that are skilled from your graveyard. So we go with the spot removal, this basic of lightning strikes and strangle, but given that maybe for the mana cost that we have more red than black or any other color, this is a good setup in this case. But I would rather go with the other fight effects, since we still have a lot of big creatures that can go with dealing extra damage. So aside from Strangle, which is quite situational and can only deal much, about 3, we can also replace it with solid spot removals from black, like Infernal Grass, and maybe specific edict effects that can be more efficient. So when we go with the land setup, so we have Viator's Proving Ground for Junt to fix the mana. We have the 4 copies of the new card, Plaza of Heroes, in which you can add mana of any color to cast a legendary spell, so a good fix. And also at the same time, you can have it to exile and then target the legendary creature you control against hexproof or the rest of the end turn. So another good way to protect your Wreath or any other legendary creatures in your lineup. So aside from the fixing, we have slow lands of Raffle Veil and Hunted Ridge, along with some utility cards, Busiju, and Second Sun. And the new card also that was added was Carplucent Forest, and for making sure that red and green mana are catered in this setup. So overall, this is the basic setup of a Dragon's deck. This looks like to be a 4 color with the Junt as its main 3, but adding also Wreath for white. But I think you can also maximize this by having more creature choices that can be replaced, or we can just cut out some of the spot removals to make way for more dragons in this lineup, to make sure that we can be effective in utilizing to ramp up with these dragons, and at the same time having threats and getting ahead of the board with your big creatures. So lastly, we have the mana cost. This is the distribution. Average from emergency is 3, but given that your spells, your big spells, is under 4 and 5, and also some types and tokens. So that's about it for this deck tech. I do hope you like this video. If you do, just like and subscribe Deathmark TV for more MTG content specifically for Dominaria United tech decks, Standard, Pioneer, and the like. So thank you for checking this video, and until the next time.